I would like to argue, because we're in the perception box, that we can use allergies as a new lens to think about our relationship with our world. Our cells are deciding what gets to become a part of us. You are not even fully human. You have so many bacteria, so many fungi, and so many viruses living in and on you right now. We are multitudes. 1996, my father was driving to the beach in New Hampshire, where I grew up. He stopped at a stop sign, and one of the lovely bees flew in my dad's window and landed on his neck, stung him in the neck. He had been stung 2 weeks prior, and his arm had swollen. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you know, you might carry an EpiPen, which is a shot of adrenaline, that counteracts a really bad allergic reaction. So my dad, being a frugal Boston person, said, nope, not for me. I'm not going to cover this cost. So he did not have an EpiPen that day. His neck expanded, his muscles around his lungs constricted from some of the substances that his cells were releasing, and unfortunately, in many cases with severe allergic reactions, can stop someone's heart. So he was dead within 30 minutes of the bee stinging him that day. So that was a shock, as you can imagine, to everyone's system, because we didn't ever really even think that that was a possibility. It changed my perception of myself, of my family, of the world, really. It was just such a shocking event. There's a lot of confusion about what allergies actually are. So what happens is you are out and about, and your body comes into contact with something it touches, or something that it breathes in, or something that you ingest, and one of your cells says, I don't like this. This is not okay. In the case of an allergy, that's a harmless, otherwise harmless substance, like a food protein or a pollen protein or a dust mite, something that's not really a threat, but your cells have decided, this kind of looks like a threat. How do we know you have one? Most of you, if you've ever had an allergy test, it's a skin prick test. Almost like a spiked, like you're gonna lay down on iron spikes, just a small one. And they usually put it on your arm or your upper back. Each little dot has a trace amount of allergen and a solution that it's in. They scratch it just below the surface, and if you've developed a wheal, then they say you have a sensitivity. Here's the thing I really need you to hear. The only thing they can tell you is that you have a sensitivity. It's 50% false positive. That means I could flip a coin and have as good of a chance of telling you if you have an allergy. This does not sound like a great system to any of you, does it? So a big question I get a lot is, are they getting worse? Yeah, they are. And it's really interesting if you look at the chart. Respiratory allergies have flatlined over the last few years, but they spiked after World War II. What has gone up in the last 30 years are skin allergies and food allergies. Our growing seasons are getting longer. So if you have respiratory allergies, on average, it's about 22 to 30 days longer that you're dealing with pollen than you ever have before, because things are growing earlier. The other thing about respiratory allergies is we're expected to see double the pollen that we have now by 2040. Because you know who loves warming temperatures? Plants. Especially plants like ragweed. Yeah, and poison ivy. And the pollen itself is changing. So there's more nitrogen in the soil than there ever has been because of pollution washing out of the air with rain. So usually nitrogen is a limit on plant growth. They can't produce that much pollen because they don't have enough nitrogen. That's not a problem anymore. We give them extra nitrogen. So if you're sitting out here thinking, this explains everything, because I never used to be, I hear this so often, I never used to have spring allergies, and now I can't, oh my goodness, what's going on? This is going on. We don't really know that much about allergies because we've really only known about them for 200 years or so. In the 1819s, we're seeing industrial revolution. A lot is going to change in a short amount of time from the 17 to the 1800s. So allergies go along with industrialization. And the same thing happens in India and China and is happening in Africa today. So our early conception of what our immune system did was all about defense. We thought at the time that the only thing that immune systems did was protect us. So why on earth would it ever kill us? Why on earth would it ever go haywire? Why would it have retained the ability to overreact? It is almost impossible to say exactly what's going on, except everything is going on. So I'll walk you through it. We'll start with, is this just nature? So, our immune systems have evolved. Is this just part of us? Is it good for us? Yeah, in a way it is. So we probably have this mechanism as a protective thing against things we no longer have to deal with. The other story is to go back to the Industrial Revolution. We have changed our environment so much that our immune cells no longer recognize the world we live in. Evolution takes a long time for humans. And like I said, some of these components are 250 to 500 million years old. They have grown up with bacteria, viruses, parasites, venomous insects. We don't have a lot of those things around anymore. So we have changed, we have new neighbors. But the big issue, and the one that most allergists talk about, is something you probably heard of called the hygiene hypothesis. Anyone heard of the hygiene hypothesis? It's the kids are too clean. In a sense, that's true. Kids bring home a lot of germs, don't they? You're constantly getting sick, aren't you? The theory was that the more that the immune system got exposed to different bugs, the more protective it was for developing allergies. We now call it the old friends hypothesis. We have lived alongside bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites our entire existence. And we have decided they are enemies. We have decided that they are always bad. We have trillions of bacteria and viruses and fungi living in and on us, our skin microbiome, our nasal microbiome. We cannot survive without them. Our immune cells have learned to coexist with bacteria and viruses and fungi in our environment. If you take that away, it turns out it's like leaving a 3-year-old in a room with crayons. Stuff is going to happen. They're going to find things to do. And they're going to look at an oak pollen and go, okay, I don't have this old bacteria anymore. I'm going to go for this oak pollen. I don't like you. So that's the theory, is that we've changed our microbiome so much, and we've changed our relationship with the things around us so much that our immune cells are just confused. We have trillions of bacteria and viruses and fungi living in and on us, our skin microbiome, our nasal microbiome. We cannot survive without them. Our immune cells have learned to coexist with bacteria and viruses and fungi in our environment, and they have decided that when they meet them on the street, they go, hey, and everything's copacetic. Our antibodies are not just passively defending. They are not just policemen. It's better to think of them as curators, museum curators, because they are deciding what gets to become a part of us. So I'd like you, as part of the perception box, to not think of yourself as you. You're not just you. Start making choices for your bacteria. Have some roughage. Don't overload yourself with harsh detergents or try to get every bugaboo out of your house. Like, have a better relationship with bacteria and the things around you. You are not even fully human. You have so many bacteria, so many fungi, and so many viruses living in and on you right now. We are multitudes. The invisible world is constantly in a conversation with us. I think that's fascinating. Mostly it goes well. Mostly that conversation is excellent. Sometimes it's not. But it's almost an indication that we need to get better at these conversations. We need to get better at listening, I think, to what our world is trying to tell us and what our bodies are trying to tell us. We need to have a better relationship with the worlds around us, really.